reasons why late Abba Kyari took over Osinbajo's post when he was alive. Millions of Nigerians hold a wrong perception about the relationship that existed between Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and the late Malam Abba Kyari, up to the extent that many still strongly believe that Malam Kyari took Prof. Osinbajo's role in the meeting that held with Siemens in Germany. I understand that some people are defiant to new knowledge, but it's important never to disapprove of the fact. It is like telling kids that Santa Claus is a ruse. They just want to believe you. They won't believe you until they grow or go out from it. Let's start from the very end. Why did Abba Kyari go to Germany instead of Vice President Yemi Osinbajo? I have heard this question on numerous occasions, and I blame this ignorance on the fact that 90% of Nigerians almost never read anything in details. Let me put it more appropriately. They only read the headlines, that is all. On 7th March 2020, President Muhammadu Buhari appointed and constituted the Power Sector Reform Coordinations Working Group with Vice President Prof. Yemi Osinbajo as head of the committee. Governor Nasser El-Rufai of Kaduna was vice chairman, while Malam Kyari was also a member of the group because he was coordinating the president's German and government's Siemens initiative to involve power supply. Other members of the group are Minister of Power Salim Maman, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Central Bank of Nigerian Government, and Special Advisor to the President on Infrastructure, who is the secretary of the group. By the composition of the group, Malam Kyari was supposed to be in Germany to lead the German government Siemens initiative, and he must have, upon his return to Nigeria, briefed the president and the president's vice president Yemi Osinbajo, who is the head of the Power Sector Reform Coordination Working Group. But many ignorant self-appointed social and political commentators, including delusional leaders and speakers, would have deceived many to believe that Abba Kyari usurped Osinbajo. But this is not the only spine they have put on the relationship that existed between the duo. There are claims that Vice President Osinbajo was used by the so-called cabals during the 2019 campaign and dumped afterwards, when in actual fact that the president's administration simply decided to institutionalize the national social investment programs. Again, let's separate the sharp from the wheat. The NSIP schemes derived from in 2014 campaign provides the promise by the Buhari administration, strongly championed by the vice president. The program, which should have kicked off long ago, was stalled because of the love lost between the executive and the 8th National Assembly. This was a time when budgets were passed in June or July and programs like the NSIP were slayed. When eventually it took off, it quickly and easily became the biggest social safety net scheme in Africa. After the 2019 elections, President Muhammadu Buhari established the Ministry for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, thus institutionalizing the NSIP, which is one of the best things to happen to Nigeria. Now, irrespective of what political party is elected to power, the social safety net shall continue. Nigerians often misunderstand the rules and function of the Vice President of Nigeria. Let me set the record straight, and please let's take note of this. The executive functions of the Nigerian vice president, according to our constitution, includes participation in all cabinet meetings and, by status, membership in the National Security Council, the National Defense Council, the Federal Executive Council, and the chairman of the National Economic Council. The vice president may take an active role in establishing policy in the executive branch by serving on such committees and council. The power of Nigerian vice president's office depends on the duty delegated by the president beside the constitutionally defined rules. Viewers, what is your take on this? What we have to say concerning this? Imagine that president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let's imagine that the president is a distinguished retired general who has been head of state before now, would allow an elected senior aide of his to take the constitutional place of his elected deputy and vice president of the nation. President Muhammadu Buhari is way more sophisticated and continues to show that the vice president is the vice president while the aide is the aide. Nigerians should also understand that. But why is it that President Muhammadu Buhari, when he came into power, 6 months after he came into power, or before he came into power, he has been so close to Osinbajo. He has been so close to Osinbajo, to the essence that whenever he wants to say or do anything, he consults Osinbajo. That is the duty of a vice president. But after 6 months, he now decided to make Abba Kyari his close pal and abandoned Osinbajo as an old rag. Imagine that. So, to the extent that anything he does or anything he do is always seeking the advice of Abba Kyari and no longer the vice president. Imagine that. But the vice president never did anything. He relaxed and he was praying to God that God should take over his position, that God should bring back his position to him. But what Buhari did was so very wrong. It was wrong to have done that. But when this coronavirus came and it confirmed that Abba Kyari was tested positive, do you know what Buhari did? The man that he took as his close pal, that's Abba Kyari, he quickly abandoned him and called on Osinbajo that does not have this infection. He called on him to come back to his post. So now he's now telling Osinbajo, advising Osinbajo, seeking for the advice of Osinbajo and telling Osinbajo everything. The things that Osinbajo has never known since after 6 months. Since the day he took Abba Kyari as his close pal. Now he's revealing everything to him. This is a backstabber. Buhari is a backstabber. He's a betrayer. He shouldn't have done what he did. But God answers the prayer of the righteous. Osinbajo prayed. He's a man of God. He's a pastor. Do you know what he said to God? That God should take away or to bring back his post to him. This is the way God wants to bring this post back to Osinbajo. That is why he allowed what happened to Abba Kyari to happen. We are not praying that Abba Kyari should die, or we're not praying that he should no longer exist in this world. But God fought for his child, Osinbajo. The Bible has said it that I will fight for you and you will hold your peace. So that is what God did. That was what God did for Osinbajo. And now Osinbajo is now back on his seat. So viewers, what is your take on this? What is your comments? Your comment is highly needed. Drop them below the comment box. Click on the subscription button as well as the bell button to receive updates whenever I publish new videos. And don't forget, share and like this news as well. Thank you. Goodbye.